see a world behind them. No more time. Sinking into the silence. Reaching out for something you may never find. Looking for a reason not to lose your.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to URL Ultimate Rocket League 3's the Contender Finals. Can't even believe that we're here. But I'm Nolan. I'll be one of your casters this evening, and the other fine human being in the booth with me this evening is none other than Mr. Anthony G, or Mr. Maker of Demons. Anthony, how are you?
I'm doing I'm doing spectacular. I'm actually really excited for this game, honestly.
I think there's a lot to be excited about. We know that these guys are going to be good. I know that you don't know too much about these guys, and I know that you
Mm,
don't know too much about this league in general. But
Negative.
yeah, you get to come in and kind of experience it for a little bit. So I'm excited for this game to happen. I think that there's going to be a lot of stuff on the line. Also joining us tonight, and they'll speak up as well. We've got Crazy Monkey and Crow joining us as tonight's analysts. Go ahead and give a little something, guys.
What's up, guys? I'm Crow, crazy.
Yo, what's up, guys? I'm crazy.
Oh,
That's right. But tonight we got a great match for you. Iceland Foxes, Alaska Yetis, contenders with all three solid, amazing players in the finals showing up per team. I'm excited. Like Maker of Demons himself said, yeah, I'm very excited for this match. Just starting off, these teams have worked their butt off to get here. They're both going to be looking for a big win, and I think it's going to be a great series. What about you, Crazy?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for this. We've been watching these teams play for a whole season now, and they're finally here to try and get a win.
Yeah, I mean, some players that I'm feeling for a highlight. Sorry, Nolan, I'll let you speak after this. I'm feeling, I think Alfred. I think I'm choosing Alfred as, for a pop off tonight. We'll see how he does, but definitely looking forward to seeing him play.
absolutely. So let's go ahead and take a peek at the brackets here real quick. Our contender bracket has looked so interesting. We've seen so many teams pop out early in this competition. We've seen so many teams overall just super interesting paths over the season. The Foxes and the Yetis is the matchup of tonight. You guys know that, I know that. Interesting that it's both the same color, but um no, it'll be an interesting matchup here. Let's go ahead and take a peek at the stats. Let's start off with our rosters here, right? Let's go ahead and take a peek at the rosters. We're gonna talk about the team composition here. Crazy. I know you know a little bit about this, but the Foxes, they're an absolute powerhouse. It's absolutely crazy to kind of see that they have that kind of team and how good they've been all season long. Talk a little bit about that and the
Yeah, I mean,
Yetis.
yeah. So for the Foxes, I mean, this team has been at the top. Everybody's been kind of knowing what they can do. Like I think every player there has that kind of peak and can really perform. So obviously, having three of those type of players on a team is absolutely deadly, right?
Right.
But on the Yeti side, I think Kokid, I think a lot of people know him now, but he's super cracked. He's super mechanical, and recently I've noticed that he's very smart. So he's definitely that type of player for his team. And then Senko definitely backs him up and kind of helps him out there, while Okino's kind of a third man and fills in the gaps for that team. So different type of teams both work very well, and now they're here in the finals.
Yeah, absolutely. You know that they both work well. We're looking at the two best teams in contender right now, whether you believe it or not. Let's take a peek at these stats here for a second. Some crazy stats coming out on each side of the ball here. The number one Foxes at a 6-2 record. They got 3.8 goals per game. They got a flat 10.1 shots per game, and then they got a 2.3 saves per game. They don't have a lot of saves, but I'll be honest, it's really just because they don't have to make a ton of them. They're a very offensive team. They will go march down the field and they'll figure it out. And the Yetis, on the other side of it, their goal percentage is two less. They've got a 1.8 goals per game, a 7.9 shots per game, and a 4.5 saves per game. A little bit more, but they're running off a 4-4 record, so they've got more saves to make. Uh, let's go ahead and take a peek at this little player comparison here. We take a second. Uh, to kind of just look at things, and we look at who the players have kind of been to look at on these teams while we're kind of in this waiting spot. But these two players are Alfred and Bacon Namer. Now, Crow, do you know anything about either of these guys?
Yeah, I've seen Alfred play quite a bit through league matches and could say that he's played pretty well. Physics is another name that I think is a little bit underrated, but I'm feeling Alfred for this matchup. Bacon Aimer, I think otherwise known as Cool Kid, I've also seen play a lot, and he's another great, solid player, and I think he's going to show up tonight, especially for the Yetis, and that's what they need. Yetis coming in at 4 seed versus the Foxes number 1 seed, and obviously the stats comparison, them being a more defensive team and Foxes just being an absolute banger offensive team. I think they're going to need this defense, and I think they can pull it out tonight.
Yeah, agreed. I think that this, it's gonna be a crazy, just game in general because you never know who's gonna pop up. It's the finals. We go to the finals, thinking that we've seen the best when really, you're here to kind of just see the best. You haven't seen it yet. These are the best two teams that are about to face off against each other. And anybody who thinks that the Foxes are just gonna take it in 4, think again. And anybody who thinks the Yetis are doing it, you just don't have your facts right, and that's kind of just how it is. But we've gone over stuff a little bit. We've gone over stuff enough. We are waiting for the last few players to
no.
join the lobby. Yeah, what do we got?
So there's not enough space for the Yetis.
Wonderful. Do me a giant favor, Mr. Maker. Go ahead and leave that game for me so that they can join. Thank you. So, I mean, we talked about it, but the finals really does bring anything, and we have to think about it. Again, there is the best of 7 that you have to consider. It's different than players have played before, but these two teams have played it before. They played it last round, as the semis were also best of 7. But I mean, let's go ahead and take this time, last couple of seconds. Who's your bet for tonight, and what's the score and why? So I mean, Crow, give me the first one.
Start with me. All right. I think my bet for tonight, I've been pretty right with my predictions. I think I've rarely messed up a prediction, so let me be smart here. I'm going to say, just based off the stats, I think I'm going to have to go with Foxes. But do I think that Yetis won't make this a good fight? Absolutely not. So I think it's going to probably go Game 6, Game 7. That's what I'm predicting to the Foxes.
Okay, Game 6, Game 7 to the Foxes. Well, that's a respectable score. What about Crazy? What do you got?
I'm not gonna be a boring person. Let me tell you right now.
Oh, okay.
I've been Cool Kid's #1 fan since the beginning, and I'm gonna keep it the same. I got Cool Kid. I got the Yetis here.
Oh,
I got
okay.
them winning in 6 too. Come on now.
In
Wow.
6.
Ooh.
All right.
Yetis in 6 for Crazy Monkey. Anthony, what are your thoughts here? Best of 7, Iceland Foxes versus the Alaska Yetis. Who you taking, and in how many games?
So I'm a big fan of always going with the underdog, and that's just me. And with going off of what stats, from just looking at them, I would have to say like the Yetis would be the underdog here. So I'm gonna go with the Yetis, and I'm gonna say I'm going with either Game 6 or Game 7, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a big fight, so I'm gonna go with Game 7.
Wow, I'm ready for it, but I will tell you right now, in casting my vote, I may or may not have insider information on how players are playing. Whether I said it or not, irrelevant. I'm taking the Foxes. In 5.
Oh.
And
Ooh,
I think
Wow,
it'll
okay.
be interesting. I want to be proved wrong because I want more of the
Foxes in
series.
5.
Foxes in 5.
Not even in 6. I was going for
Interesting.
like a 6 or 7, but
Foxes
a
in
5.
5.
Wow,
And
okay.
that might just be generous. I'm big on the Foxes. Alfred is playing some of the best Rocket League he's ever played before. He's absolutely peaking. Speed is always great. You just can't go wrong. And physics. He's improved so much as a player over this season. His GMing in 2 is going well. Everything's looking up for him. So I'll be honest, I'm right there. Cool Kid is great, but I'm concerned with, kind of the team chemistry. You got to remember the Foxes have been there all season long. They've been perfecting their gameplay week in and week out, just waiting for this opportunity. So yeah, I got Foxes in 5. Like I said, I want to be proved wrong.
Always have to think about this. Up until this point, it's kind of been like not so big of a game. This is a finals game. This is the finals, big time big time shine here for both teams, and the spotlight does get to some people. So I am really hoping that, what you're saying is true with the Foxes, but you never know. Sometimes the big spotlight does get to some people.
Well,
Uh,
we've got a little game to get to here, and it looks like we are starting up well. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got the Iceland Foxes versus the Alaska Yetis in game 1 right here. Goodness, Hyper Zenko, one of the stronger players for the Yetis. He's definitely going to be one of the players to watch out for. I think it'll be interesting to kind of see what he has to do. But do we have a first score here? No, we've got a demo by Okeanos on Physics, not able to get there. Alfred getting the clear downfield. Physics going to head up for it, and already the Foxes are on the move. The Foxes looking to take some names here. Get a pass up front. Not looking like they're able to do much at the moment.
It's been so far pretty much back and forth right now. It's just kind of gain a little bit of speed here and gain possession of this ball from what it's looking like. It's kind of stayed pretty much in the center of the field most of the first minute right now. Shot on net here from Finks. I think it is Fizz. Is it?
Right.
Okay, excuse me. Still learning the names here.
Wow. And
Our
first goal.
of the night. First goal of the night. Little pop in there. Nice pinch from Hyper off of Alfred here. Like I said, sometimes the unexpected is what you should expect the most.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Zenko with a great shot. The unexpected, I mean, you just can never expect it. So, there isn't much to go off of here. But you're absolutely right. The Yetis start off great. Alfred with the shot, not able to get it on. It's going to end up being a great little touch out from Okeanos. Physics can't save it, and it doesn't go in. Unfortunately, the post makes an appearance as a goalie. SB taking this ball up, seeing if he can get anything done on it, and it's going to be Alfred looking for the clear. Not able to get it.
Everybody's worst nightmare are those posts, especially those side posts. It can either go one way or the other, and unfortunately this time it did not go in the favor of the Yetis in the shot.
Absolutely. Anthony, do me a favor. Talk a little bit more into your microphone for me.
Absolutely, yeah. I do this thing
There you go.
where I
You're
tend to
good.
just back away.
Yeah.
I don't like the taste of my mic, so
You don't like that? What do you mean you don't like the taste of it? Who's eating the mics? My goodness.
hey, bro, if you've only met some of the people I met, just talking over headsets and whatnot that just engulf their face
Fair
into their
enough.
mic.
Fair enough. Well, we will take it. But this is gonna be an interesting little bout from the Foxes, who have not found any answers, but have certainly found a ton of offense. And Cool Kid too. I mean, Cool Kid's been pretty quiet so far. SB setting up a double here. It's gonna be finished by Physics, and the Iceland Foxes are on the run now. They finally found some offense. They found their first goal. It's halfway through the game, and all of a sudden, the Iceland Foxes are feeling it.
I just said earlier, a little late, but hey, they found the net. You were just mentioning how they're having a little bit of difficulty finding the back of that net, and right as you said it, they made their mark, putting it right in their top center of the net there. No difficulty whatsoever. Tying it up here at 1-1 halfway through the first game.
Absolutely. Now, a big emphasis on the tie-up part.
Yeah.
Because if you tie this game up, you're suddenly right back in it. But you go down a second goal, and you've got a ton of... You have to motivate yourself at that point. You need every little bit of momentum you can take. Big demo. Go ahead.
Especially in the last portion of the game, especially as that time winds down. Halfway through, you have a little bit of time, but time is of the essence. Of course, we all know that 5 minutes does wind down pretty fast. So you just got to figure out, and keeping that ball in your possession as much as possible, especially offensively.
Oh boy, Zenko finds goal number 2. 2-1 for the Yetis, and this is a beautiful little play here from the Yetis, who get it all the way down the field. Cool Kid being the main player here, but Zenko goes ahead, finds the net, and that's big for the Yetis. Feeling good coming into the second half of this game. And we talk about all this offense that we're seeing from the Foxes, but just none of it's paying off. I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, what do you think that they have to figure out here?
It's looking like a bit of a miscommunication. I'm seeing a lot of double commits here and not much real focused on what's going on. They're really on their heels a lot from what it's looking like. There's a lot of nice demos from the Foxes here. Unfortunately, they're not able to put those demos to use.
Right.
Really here, they've done a couple good numbers here in terms of demoing the player with the possession of the ball, but not much time getting possession back
Right.
from of the ball, and that just seems to be the biggest issue right now. And again, another shot on Ness here. This time from Bacon. I'm just gonna go with a shorter version here. Now with a 2-point lead here with a minute left of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can even tell. I mean, looking at the Yetis, they just find places to shoot. The Foxes aren't covering the net. They're finding themselves out of rotation. There isn't a ton that you're able to do. When you don't have somebody in the net, you can't save the ball, and that needs to be fundamental lesson number one that these Foxes take away from this game. If you're down, you need to just keep your head up and just keep things going the way that they've always been going. Keep the
Exactly.
head up. Keep that motivation going. Again, nobody in net and a free shot from Cool Kid, and there you go, 4-1 for the Yetis, and they are stampeding with this game in hand.
The biggest difference I noticed stat-wise was the Foxes are a very offensive team.
Right.
Usually, I'm pretty sure I've never seen these two teams play at all. So I'm just gonna assume with the bigger goal on per game score rate, the Foxes are usually ahead in terms of just keeping points on and not really having to defend. But as you saw from stat-wise, the Yetis are a very big defensive team, and they not really high scoring, but defense is the biggest key, especially in threes, and knowing who you got back in net, and it's just seemed like that defense portion of themselves is really big, paying off here
Right.
against the Foxes.
Yeah, absolutely. And, look at this jump from physics here, too. It doesn't mean much now. They've got 9 seconds. The 2 more goals that they need is certainly going to be a hard stretch for them in whether they'll get it this game. But taking one with you on the road is always a good thing. Have one in the back pocket. Make sure you've got some momentum moving forward for this next game. And this looks like it is going to end up being game over here. Yetis take game number 1 in dominating fashion.
Like I said earlier, this is going to definitely be a back and forth game, and I'm definitely seeing this being a back and forth. But definitely, obviously, now going to an extra game here. It's definitely going to be one of those things where you're really looking to see who comes out on top and who's really on top of their rotation.
Absolutely. Over to the analysts, though.
Wow, what a first game. Alaska Yetis taking the first of the series. Still quite a few games to go, though. But again, myself predicting the Foxes, I'm not really sure I saw this first game coming. Again, it is only the first game. Could be first game jitters for the Foxes. But right now, the Foxes are looking kind of sloppy. It's not that they're playing necessarily bad on the offense. Their offense is looking pretty good. However, their defense, they're leaving the net open, and it's costing them like 2-3 goals, especially this last game. But on the Yeti side, definitely playing very well. I can tell Cool Kid's feeling warm. Hitting some pretty good mechanics and a nice little mini double clip just there in the last game. What about you, Crazy? How you feeling about the games?
Yep. It was a good game for sure, but the Foxes kind of seem a bit off. They're not doing that offense that we usually see from them. I don't know if it's miscommunication or something, but they need to have someone back for those shots because Cook has just been hitting those. Sanko's been really out there to this game, that last game. So just showing from the Yetis. I need a bit more from the Foxes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, let's go ahead and get into game number 2 here. Yetis walking away with game number 1. How do you think the Foxes, kind of combat that? What do you think they do this next match, Anthony?
They would have to, like I said previous in the last game, they would have their focus should be more defensive, a little bit, making sure that you have someone back net and you're not all pushing up at the exact same time. Obviously, you're gonna have the rotation where someone's up front, you have that last person ready for a pass in the need that they need to, and you rotating through. But again, they're so far up that they don't have that third man back. That third man is very crucial. They need to focus, I would say, would be having that defensive player on standby at all times.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see them just a little bit more on defense here than anything else. But I mean, look at how fast the Yetis are to just combat this. It comes back to the Yetis side. Nobody challenges them, and all of a sudden they've got all this space to clear the ball, and the ball just keeps finding itself, on the Fox's side of the, field. They're just not able to do too much from it.
I appreciate the adjustment. I do. They're just playing a little, from what it seems like, very, very
I'm
cautious.
gonna need you to talk into your mic a little bit more. my friend.
They're playing very, very, very cautious the second game around, way more than previously. And it seems to be like they're on again. They're on their heels again for this defensive wise.
Yeah. A great little touch out here from Zenko. Going to leave this one mid for Okeano's. Not going to be able to get there. It's going to be Alfred putting this one out towards Espy for the clear. They block it, and there's a scoring opportunity. Okeano's just can't get there. Alfred already up, and Zenko sinks the shot. Mid-field and in off a great pass from Okeano's, and they obviously had an opportunity here to sink ball one, but this is a great work from Zenko. And he's been the superstar this far. I gotta know, Henny, are you in the chat, my man? Are you around? Because I will tell you right now, I'm either gonna have to have him do a little legwork to figure out who this
Kickoff goal
MVP
here.
was.
A kickoff shot here right off. Literally a second into having this ball kicked off here, we have a shot from Oki. No one back again. No one in net. No one on standby, as I said before.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and think about one thing for a second here. Oh my goodness, what a job. I wanted to talk about the Foxes. I wanted to talk about Alfred. Alfred is pretty consistently the one sitting back, the one you can find out of boost. He's their third man, and he does the Foxes' job well. Unfortunately, we haven't seen much from SV or Physics yet. In terms of being that first man, and if I were them, it's very possible that you might take the opportunity to switch up game style a little bit, because I mean it's pretty clear that this isn't working. They're hitting the ball down the field, they're finding some rhythm, but it's pretty much it's a 1v1v1v3 right now. That's what it looks like.
Absolutely. The other two players here. Wow.
Oh.
I did not expect that. I definitely thought he was going to catch that. Doesn't meet my words, my own words here. Expect the unexpected.
Yeah, honestly. That's great. I mean, listen, something like that does end up going in. Or you find a last-second goal. You literally have no idea what is going to come from one of these 50s. It's contender, dude. You literally are watching people flip reset and then whip the wide-open net. You know what I mean? There's just such a wide, gap of skill. And it's kind of interesting to kind of see how it all gets done. Little touch up from Physics here, not able to get there. SV gonna take some time off the wall, gets the 50. Zenko gonna win that 50, and now the Yetis are back on offense. Touch here from Okeanos, not able to get there, and it's gonna end up being Physics taking this ball down the field, really. And the Yetis just have such a strong presence on offense. Back on the offense again. It's a great save from SV. And this is going to have to get cleared by the Foxes fast. They need to see some more offense like they did in Game 1, or we're really going to be down here.
It's looking like a lot of fighting back and forth here from both sides, but as you said earlier, the Yetis are on high offense here.
Right.
They're very, very in touch. Their communication seems to be very much on key and on point, and they're doing a flawless job. From as far as I can tell, doing that. Almost a nice goal there by Oki, pinch off the defender there. There's a lot of double commits coming from the Foxes here that I've noticed.
Yep.
Whether it be from miscommunication or just not really noticing, not being really aware of your surroundings.
Right, for sure. Oh, Foxes don't know how to respond to that. That was a full commit by the Yetis, and unfortunately they have no answers for it. The Foxes are so spread out, and then all of a sudden all grouped up. There's two Foxes on one side of the field right now. Nobody's able to get to the other side. There's nobody mid. There's so many issues in the rotation that they're quick fixes. I'm sure that they're able to kind of fix that out. But I mean, in the meantime, they've got 15 seconds to bring this game back into overtime. Now it's 10, and it's a great clear from the Yetis, and there's no clear from the Foxes coming anywhere nearby anytime soon. And this game could be going in the Yetis' favor here, and they'll take game 2.
It's almost like they go into panic mode as soon as the ball reaches their half. As you said earlier, at one point they're all on perfect communication and ready to go, and then all of a sudden it's just they panic and they just start bunching up, and that's what causes that issue for double commits and bumping between the two of them.
Absolutely. Now over to the analysts. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah. So you know,
Oh man, dude.
dude. So first of
Oh
all,
man.
Okionos has really stepped up. I see like he's not afraid as much as he used to in previous games. So he's really like
Yep.
brave right now. He's helped out his team because of it. I've seen him go for demos. That's really good. Opens up the space for his team. Hyper Senko has been performing very well. This is how I wanted him to perform since the beginning, and he's finally doing it. Oh, and Kokid, he's still performing, but he's at the bottom of the leaderboard. That's a rare thing to see, and the fact that that's happening truly speaks to what the Yetis are doing right now.
Dude, yeah, I have to completely emphasize that point. I did say Cool Kid was playing phenomenal last game. I thought that he was the highlight for the Yetis, but now I'm seeing it, especially this game too. All of these Yetis players are on fire right now. And it's not that the Foxes are necessarily playing that bad. It's just the Yetis are playing so good, and the Foxes can't get their rotations in control. They're letting in open nets. They're triple committing sometimes. It's just looking really rough for the Foxes. Right now, the Yetis are looking like a well-oiled machine that's just dominating the midfield, and especially the Foxes. It looks like the roles have almost reversed in terms of the Foxes being more defensive and the Yetis being more offensive.
Absolutely. Now, unfortunately, it looks like we've got a little issue going on here. It looks like it's resolved now. Oh boy. Do we have a Okeanos? Let's I don't know what
think we do.
Oh,
I
okay.
believe-
We've got
I
him playing
believe
now.
so.
We got him playing now. All right, wonderful. It doesn't look like it's impacted too much. I think we're just gonna. Listen, I'm gonna do it. We'll make a room later if we need to. Shot here from Okeanos for the pass, and it's Cool Kid right off the bounce, acting like that DC at the beginning never even happened. The Yetis swing into things right off the bat. Great pass from the DC player. It's a Cool Kid who just early goal.
Nice little three pass there. Nice little redirect from Bacon. Obviously, nicely off the wall. Okeano doing a great job being there where he needs to be. Nicely done overall from all three.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely agreed. Physics has certainly stayed back a little bit more than I normally see him, back towards the net. But by virtue, I think it's, he's trying to play some of that defense a little bit more. We look at Alfred is, just up right now, but typically he is that third player. So it's nice to kind of see that they're trying some semblance of rotating. Oh my goodness, there's no way Cool Kid goes for that shot. What is that? Look at this pass into this shot. Like, are you kidding me? Cool Kid is clipping on these kids right now, and there's just nothing going on. What can you do?
As I said earlier, the big stage is a very big spotlight, and it's starting to pan out. Like the Foxes are getting a little nervous from what I'm noticing. I'm very shocked, especially as how high you guys talking about these guys. I'm very shocked that this is what is happening.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little shocked as well, but I have to imagine that game 4, we'll hopefully see some Foxes show up. If they don't show up in game 3, I mean, listen, they need to. They really do. Alfred has certainly, you see what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. Alfred, plays that third man role, but if they gave him the opportunity to just be that striker and just find some shots, he's going to hit them. He's going to find those angles. That's where he needs to be. And I think that the Foxes need to make some serious adjustments in order to kind of make that happen.
Absolutely, they got to rotate him in every so often just so he can get a couple shots on net. One of them has got to find their way in.
Absolutely. Physics taking this one out and around, not able to get full control of it. and the Foxes are going to desperately attempt to get this one out. B going to take a big air dribble and leaves this one right in front of the net. Gets cleared out by the Yetis. And all of a sudden, the Yetis are scrambling to get this out. It doesn't even look like scrambling. You have all three on the ball, a big clear, a triple commit in the net, and a shot by Zenko saved away
What
by
a
Alfred.
save. What a nice recovery by Alfred.
You wouldn't expect that these Foxes, could be playing like this right now after the season they've had. Going 6-2, losing only to, a handful of select teams. I mean, something like that is kind of crazy to think about, and kind of seeing their record and their progress, all throughout the season. Shot here from SB, sees if he can get anything, and it's going to be out to Physics. See if he can do the bidding on the other side of the field, all the way back to the Foxes, and all of a sudden they are faced with having to get this ball out of here. SB going to take this one out midfield, and Alfred back for the clear. He's going to get it. Is there anybody back for the Yetis? And it's Alfred diming one from halfway midfield. Wow.
That demo was very, very nicely put. Like I said earlier, those demos are very, very important, and if they can capitalize on those demos, it's almost a guaranteed possibility of a shot. And that was our shot right there. That made its way in.
Absolutely, and the Foxes need this. They need to start playing like the team they did mid-season. They have to start making some adjustments because being 2 games down, potentially almost 3 games down, is certainly not where you want to be, especially if you're looking game 4 in the face.
Exactly.
Down 3, complete and total, loss of motivation, of momentum. That's tough to deal with. So getting game 3 in the bag would absolutely be ideal. Shot to Physics, can't make the read, and all of a sudden the Yetis are gonna play some offense here. A great demo on Physics, puts him back here, but the Yetis are still gonna shoot, saved away from SB, and off into the corner, and the Yetis are still just gonna keep shooting. Yetis all the way back on their own side here, not make the feat any easier. Anthony, you got a minute left here. What's your advice, and who do you think's winning this game?
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take the Yetis on this one.
Yep.
For this game, I want to say the advice I would have to give. There has to be a lot more communication. I don't know what's going on inside. If they're, their VC, if they got one going, but if they do, they gotta be very, very, very communicative. Because there's a lot of triple commits going on, and it's leaving that net wide open,
Right.
and it's killing them right now, in terms of these shots that the Yetis are putting on net.
Oh my goodness. Little kid has got the clip on him. He gets the demo
What a
mid-air.
demo!
Are you
What
kidding
a
me?
demo!
What
Holy,
is this?
holy!
Oh my goodness, you don't even see it. That is
That is-
ridiculous right there.
That had to be the most, like, if he wasn't even noticing that he was there, that had to be the luckiest demo possible. That was insane. Fakes from both sides on the kickoff.
Oh my goodness, and that's ridiculous. Foxes have 10 seconds to figure out how they're going to get a goal to take this into game at least 5. This is going to be farther downfield. SB gets a shot. He gets a bump
Just
too, which
off.
means that this is just going to be hanging down. It's going to hit the ground. Game number 3 going to the Yetis. Ladies and gentlemen, we're 1 point off of the finals being over.
I'm just shocked.
It's ridiculous what we're seeing, honestly. I certainly did not think that we were going to be looking at anything like this, but let's go ahead and get into the talk. Where are we at? Crazy Crow, what are we thinking?
Yeah. So Foxes
Man.
definitely looked a bit better this game, and the Yetis looked a bit worse. Even though they won, they did look a bit worse. Like somewhere around the middle of the game, they kind of looked a bit lost. But either way, bunch of clutch moments. Cool kid, that demo. How do you, my boy? Good stuff. But yeah, no, definitely a bit closer game. What do you think, Craig?
But I have one word, and it's sweep. How are we this close in a finals match to a sweep? I mean, I don't think any of us, all 4 of us, I don't think any of us predicted a Nolan predicting, in 5. But a sweep, this is unheard of. And right now, the Yetis are just looking so good. And the Foxes, like you started to say, Alfred, showing up a little bit more. And that's definitely what I was predicting would be the MVP for the Foxes. But he needs to show up now or never. So hopefully we
Right.
can see a little bit more from him.
It's match point because of Koke supremacy. You already know. Come on now.
Cool, good supremacy.
And I think Koke was listening to Nolan in the prediction. She's like, nah, nah, nah. Let me step in. What is this? I was gonna leave it there. We have a problem.
Why is nobody joining up? We do this every single time we have a game, and you'd think that people would learn how to do it by now, especially two finals caliber driven teams. You'd think that they would figure out how to be in a private match, but unfortunately, that's just not the case. I blame the entirety of the Iceland Foxes team there. Dude, I know for a fact that Physics has been doing leagues for 2 years now. I don't understand how this is still an issue. But nonetheless, we're gonna go ahead and set this back up.
He's a bit flustered.
Yeah, I mean, listen, game 4 coming into this and potentially, being out. Listen, the Foxes have a lot riding here, but I don't want to take away from the momentum of the Yetis, so we're gonna try to get this back up immediately. Try that one more time.
I'm just absolutely I'm just flabbergasted. That's the best word I can really say. Really big word, especially from me. But I'm just actually shocked as to you guys speak of these guys, the Foxes, so highly. The stats are so high. The stats are on ridiculously high, and the play out here is actually very shocking, in a way.
Right. Anthony, go ahead and leave that game for me.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And let's go ahead and give these guys their info.
So, just to follow up on what Anthony said, yeah. So we definitely rate these guys highly because this team has been so dominant throughout the whole season. They were like 6-2.
Yep.
Oh, they lost one game against my team because they had a sub, right? And the sub wasn't performing that well that day. So this team was definitely dominant. They went through the finals, not the finals, the playoff bracket so easily. They basically didn't have to play. It was this team is what or was rated the #1 contender team. You know?
See, the biggest
Yes.
mind-blowing... Sorry, you can go ahead.
No. I was just answering this question. All you.
Okay. Yeah, so the biggest mind-blowing thing for me isn't necessarily... I mean, it is that, the Yetis are up 3-0, and Fox haven't even taken a game. We could talk about that all day. But right now, I want to talk about how, the roles have almost switched. You see the Yetis barely playing any defense. I mean, throughout these entire 3 games, on average, in total, I feel like 80% of the game, maybe 70, be a little bit more generous, has been played on the blue half. And that needs to change because, again, we looked at the stats, and then I think 10-point-something shots per game, the Foxes. And really, the Yetis only had 7, and here they are putting up 15 shots or whatever it may be on, per game. And the Foxes are barely having any looks on the orange net. It's just crazy.
Is it the same name and password? Or
Yes, it is the same. And we've got our players joining up right now, waiting for one more SB, and then we will be ready to go. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be getting back into game number 4, which, we've already talked about it, but it is crazy to think about because I didn't think we were in game number 4 already. And I certainly cannot believe that we have the Yetis on match point already. Hopefully the Foxes and the Yetis are ready to go. But game 4, predictions all around. Anybody think this is it?
It can't be it.
I'm
Okay,
not.
okay.
I honestly, as much as I want to go with my own pick here, I want to say the Foxes. I'm really hoping the Foxes take this one and put up a little bit of a fight here.
Yeah.
this is it.
I think that this is. I think this could be it. I need to see if the Foxes score the first goal. I'll take the Foxes for the game. But if not, yeah, I think that this could very much be it. I think the Yetis have been playing great. They deserve it.
Yep, I agree with you, Nolan. I'm feeling that if the Foxes take the first goal here, could be their game. Maybe only one game, but hopefully the start of at least 2 or 3 more to at least bring this to a game 7. But at the moment, it really just depends on this first goal and the momentum. So let's see what happens.
I mean, you're absolutely right. Taking a little look here, first 30 seconds rather uneventful, some back and forth. A potential centering right here. Physics going to fake the challenge. SB looking to get this one out north for his team, but there's just nobody there. And the Foxes, wow, that's quite the aerial from Alfred, halfway across the field. And this is going to be a potential free shot from Okeanos, a great clip from Physics. The Iceland Foxes need to start this attack as soon as possible. If they start to go up early, they will feel the momentum. They will feel just about everything going in their favor, but they need to start doing it now.
As Crow said earlier, the roles have definitely changed. This has been a very defensive game for the Foxes, and it's very, from like I said, from what I've heard and from what I've seen so far, it's not much of like their play style at all. A nice carry across by SB, didn't quite make it, just a little high. But yeah, it's been very much back and forth this first almost 2 minutes now. Hopefully the Foxes can get a shot here and get their momentum up to take game 4.
Absolutely. Zenko gonna have to steer this one out of the way on his net, and oh, he's gonna have to make another defensive play. He makes it, gets the save. Alfred with the shot, and this is a great attempt by the Iceland Foxes, just not able to get one in the net. Another little pass attempt, and you know, you can see the Iceland Foxes working at this point. They want to put shots on, they want to see a couple of passes go in their way. Right now, they're looking at a sweep. This number 1 seeded team is looking at a sweep, and Physics finds the shot off the top and sinks one in for the Foxes that they desperately need that.
Rotation has been very, very much on point for the Foxes so far. They haven't had many double commits. They've been very much good in keeping somebody back. They had a moment in time where all 3 of them were pretty much up, and they seem to have fixed it with SB coming in there for that first shot of the game.
Right. I'm liking the solo plays from the Yetis, and this is one of them. Cool Kid takes it up the field, slots it right over to Zenko, and you know, it's just that simple. He dribbles it all past them. You know, I feel like the Foxes have not been, you know, dribbling, have not been making their, you know, solo plays like that. And they have to keep the ball close too. You know, that's another part of the game you have to remember. In Contender, you're consistently booming the ball. You know, you're putting the ball wherever you can get a touch on it. But there is another aspect to the game of it, and it is, you know, the skill in where you put the ball. And this is a dime from Physics, top half of the net. Oh my, tell me about this. This is just beautiful.
Beautiful air demo off of a challenge, and just Physics right where he needs to be, right on target. Nice high top right corner of the net. Beautifully done, taking that lead once again with halfway through this 4th game.
Oh my goodness, and I don't know how that one doesn't go in, but you gotta be kicking yourself after that one. That one's just unfortunate. A great save here from Physics is gonna lead to a little clear, but it's the Yetis back on the offense again, and the Foxes, I mean, have we seen the ball on their side more or less than the Yetis this game? I feel like it's kind of been an even split so far.
I would have to say it's been pretty even. There's been a lot of passing plays going on from both sides. The ball just happens to end up on either side after, you know, a certain amount of seconds, really. But it's pretty fair to say that it's been on both sides, you know, either way.
I would agree with that. So we've seen kind of a little bit of offense here and there. We see a little bit more close game being played by the Foxes here. It's certainly not where it needs to be. You see players, you know, kind of rotating out at the wrong times. But you know, we're not here to criticize. The idea is that the Foxes are gonna have some more work to do. Them being at the right place at the right time is critical. And I think if you're the Yetis right now, you kind of just need to play around what they're giving you. Eventually they'll mess up, and you'll be able to just kind of take advantage of it. That's just what they do. But the faster man is gonna win that race, and that's Alfred. Slots one top right off a beautiful save. A beautiful pass from SB. And that's just great work from the Foxes, who are putting themselves back in this game, and that's what we want to see.
I'm not sure if that was Oki right there, just a little underneath it, couldn't quite get up just
I believe it was.
that. Yeah, just a split, like a hair's too late of a jump of time-wise. But other than that, great pass by SB coming off the top roof there.
Absolutely agreed. A great clear by Cool Kid, an even greater clear by Alfred, and this one's going to be bounced back to SB. SB not able to get there. Part of me thinks that SB's probably got, you know, some jitters right now. You know, because he usually performs at a much higher rate than this. We usually see him doing many more things. and kind of playing in different ways. So I'd be interested to kind of hear from him, potentially even after the game, kind of how he was feeling. But this is going to be a great clear downfield from SB, who gets the demo, clears the net for physics, and all of a sudden the Foxes are ice cold. They are looking like the Foxes right now. Crazy. Let me hear it, dude.
As I said earlier, that those demos are going to come into high play here, and that was a perfect example. Take out the goalie right there. The other two defenders are nowhere to be found. Net wide open. Perfect execution of that demo play right there.
That's a great save as well. I thought for sure that ball was going in. SB in a weird spot. Gonna leave it for physics, but not able to get what he wants off the ball here. And unfortunately, it's gonna result in the demo, but a great play here from the Foxes, who are gonna try to style this one out here. And you know, I've kind of noticed one or two other things as well in kind of watching this game. You know, I've spent a lot of my time in this league, in Contender, in Prospect, you know, whatever you want to call it. But you know that, you know, the fundamentals are what you learn in Contender. It's
Yep.
exactly how you play the game. And we see that the Foxes are doing so many things that are not fundamental. They are advanced, and there's so much of it. I think you might, you know, just have a case of, you know, too many cooks in the kitchen right now. There's just so much going on. But let's hear from the analysts, see what they have to say.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go
So
ahead, Crazy.
the Foxes have definitely performed a bit better here. They've definitely gone out and kind of got the ball for themselves instead of waiting for someone to just give it to them. And amazing shots. That demo from Speed. And the Yetis haven't looked as good. They've looked like they've had some missed touches, or maybe it's like they want to sweep and it kind of got to them. I don't know, but the Foxes have definitely been changed it up. What do you think, Carl?
I think that right now, in terms of who's been taking the games, we're seeing a battle of nerves, because it seems that the Foxes were nervous pretty much throughout those 3 games. Finally getting their first game, and it seemed that that 30-second minute break actually benefited them. For me, I would have maybe wanted to go straight in and try to find some momentum the hard way, but that little minute 2 break, I mean, that seemingly got them that win, and hopefully they can continue this momentum and take their second game of the series.
Absolutely, but game 5 is a big one. The Yetis gonna have to pull one out here if they want to finish the series. The Foxes still on elimination point. They have to keep up the good work that they saw in game number 4 in order to stay alive. And this is gonna be an awkward one. They get saved out, and the Foxes start off a little bit shaky, but it looks like they're right back into the action here. Bezzy's gonna take a shot, and unfortunately, it's gonna go a little too far left of the net. But a good overall start from the Foxes. They look like they're going to have some control. They look like they're starting to play the game a little bit differently. I'd be interested to see how much more that they're able to do. But overall, good look from the Foxes to start us off.
I'd have to agree. As Crazy was saying earlier, the Yetis seem to get a little complacent that last game. If you've noticed, they were playing a little bit more forward than they usually were the last 2 games, taking a couple more wild shots than they normally would have the first 3 games prior, and it seems to have bit them a little bit that time. Hopefully they come back and go back to their original play style of what they were doing before. But Foxes are pretty much what it looked like from the last game, on par a little bit. If they can keep that up, they might be able to take this next game too.
Oh boy, and I'll be honest, regardless of what the Foxes look like, at the end of the day, they are 3 great players with a solid sub, and they've got a good looking team. And I also wanted to bring up this other point about the sub. It is possible that we see a sub at some point, but my best guess is that we probably won't. But I mean, an overall good squad. This is a squad to be proud of. They are overall 4 good, solid players who individually, will be able to do damage, in the league overall. Whether they have this chemistry or not, the Foxes potentially, even on an off day right now, but they still don't look bad. They just look like, they are figuring out this Yetis team, and it might have taken them a little bit longer to do so. SBC, and if he can get something down here, he goes for the bump. SB makes the play. Physics scores the ball, and this is a great effort from the Foxes. And they were jumbled up and completely dismembered here, so it's kind of crazy they come away with the dub like that.
It looked like there was a little bit of hesitation from the other 2 defenders on the Yeti side there on whether or not they should go for it, or whether or not they should just let it go and take the save on that one. but a wonderful way, a wonderful pass. Either way, way to stay with it, way not to let it go. A nice shot, put themselves two ahead, almost halfway through this fifth game here.
Oh boy, and I can see it now. The Foxes are gonna start winning. They're gonna start picking up momentum. We haven't seen a ton of that overall forward pressure from the Yetis yet. I'm sure hoping that we see it. I guarantee you we will, because with Zenko and Cool Kid, there's never going to be an opportunity for them to just sit back all game long. I just think that the right touches are being made by the Foxes right now. The Foxes have slowed down their game. They got the Game 4 talk. That's what it was. On Game 4, somebody in their VC, and I don't know who it was, but if they win, I sure do want to hear the name of the person who it was. Somebody gave a speech. Somebody said something and said, listen, you guys got to pick it up, and here's how you're going to do that. And all of a sudden, we are seeing massive strides from the Foxes, who take 3 straight right before halfway through this game. And, it's kind of blowing my mind at this point. Anthony, break it down for me. I mean, what do we got here?
We're seeing a little bit more of a solo play here and there from the Foxes, taking the ball themselves. Nice little dribbles there. As you were saying earlier, they weren't doing it much. It's something they were, used to doing. That they kind of lacked on in the first three games, and now they're starting to bring it out. They're starting to let it go. They're starting to flow a little bit better. Very much lack of double commits here. Communication seems to be picking up a little bit better. I'd have to say they're showing a better side than they were the first 3 games for sure.
The Yetis just look a little bit discombobulated. I feel like for the majority of the first couple of games, we saw the Foxes playing very bunched up, very kind of grouped, and then we saw the Yetis kind of being a little bit more spread out. They got some passes, they had some plays brewing. I feel like that's still kind of the case, that they're a little more spread out, but the plays have kind of dwindled. It just looks completely different. It looks like not the normal Yetis team. And this is a great demo by Alfred. And you want to get as much space as you can, but the demo gives and receives as well. You get one, you give one. It's like to take a penny, leave a penny thing at the grocery store. You know how it is.
I've never heard that one before.
Is that just a Massachusetts thing?
It must be. I've never
That's
heard
funny.
that down here in Rhode Island.
That's
Not at all.
You've never seen at a convenience store, you just take a penny, leave a penny?
No, never.
What? Let me
Never,
know,
never.
anybody, if you've seen that at your
I've
place.
seen that.
I was gonna say, you've seen that before, right?
I've seen the thing. I just haven't seen it at my personal.
But you know what it is. Like the take a penny.
Yeah,
I'm so done with it. That's definitely a global thing. If other people know what it is.
Maybe
Regardless,
I may just live under a rock. That might just be it.
it's very possible. A gentleman as yourself, though, I would not expect to not, know what this is. But it's all right. 3-0, 30 seconds left. The Foxes have taken a commanding lead in the series right now. As far as momentum, they look like a completely different team. The Yetis being locked out for majority of game number 5 here. We're gonna have a real interesting game number 6 to look at. A great save by Alfred gonna guarantee that this game is pretty much locked away at this point. We need to see more from Cool Kid. We need to see more from Zenko. We need to see more from the Yetis in general. Keanos too. I feel like we didn't see a ton from them this game, and it's this combobulation for the most part.
I think they went back to their old, ideal of, playing more defensive, and I think they played the safer route these past 2 games, trying
Sure.
to make sure that they kept that hold on the lead of that 3-0 leading game wise. And it's not really shaping out. I think they really need to go back on the offensive like they were doing the first 3 games for sure.
Agreed. Let's hear from the analysts. Game number 6 coming up, guys. What are your thoughts? What do we got here?
Oh man. I'll go ahead and start. I gave one word for the first 3 games, and I said that was I just said sweep, because the thought of the concept of a sweep in the finals was already just so far-fetched, but it almost happened. Here, I'm gonna say that the word right now is nerves, and I think that the biggest decider between the Foxes going down 3 in the beginning first 3 games, and then now them taking 2, is nerves. The Yetis, that server reset has completely scrambled their brain, their play style, and the Foxes are looking like the Foxes again, and the Yetis, they're still looking pretty good, but right now they can't grasp what they had going the first 3 games, and they really need to bring it back.
Yep. I think Koke needs some hype. So come on, chap, give some hype for Koke.
Giving hype for Cool Kid, it very well could work out. But we are staring a game 7 directly in the face here with the Foxes win, and I'd like to keep it that way personally. Finals are never meant to be, anything more than 6 games. If it's anything more than 6 games, it wasn't a correct final. You've done
Yeah.
something wrong. This is a great pass, a great shot, and a great save all around here. A great shot again from Cool Kid, who is shooting at a ridiculous rate right now. My goodness, he's done everything. And a great save from Okeanos. Just the plays are coming out everywhere. Nobody knows what's going on. And there's just a lot of jumble. All right, but being in game number 6, on the lookout for game number 7. Foxes need to win this game in order to take it. I mean, we haven't seen too much from the Yetis yet, but if you are the Yetis at this point, you have to be a little shaken up.
Oh, absolutely. Right now, we're facing a possible, loss here again, with, the past 2 games being, shockers in terms of low scoring wise. A bit shaken up in terms of how you're playing. Personally, I would try and go back to try and feed into what I was, feeding into before in those first couple games that I was playing.
Right.
And try and see what I can, what I've changed between then and now. And see what I can, reinstall, for lack of a better word, in this game actually.
I think you're right, and I think that honestly, you have to take the game to kind of just realize what that is, what you need to re-update, what you need to reinstall on your terminology. But this is what you need to reinstall right here. You need to update Cool Kid. You need to make sure he's got all the tools that he needs in order to, really make sure he's got a successful bout here. But this was a great work from Cool Kid. He's going to go ahead and find the middle shot here. He sinks it nice, puts the Yetis in a great position. And, we've seen this from the Yetis before, too. This is not the first time. We have seen them, go up ridiculously and then, not be able to kind of finish. They have won, I believe, 3 games before, and then let 2 games get out of hand. They won in game 6 against the Tikis. Potential shot here, and it's going to go in. Okeanos. With a sinker here, and you need that one. This is a great work from the Yetis, Okeanos in particular, and that's a big goal. You need that one.
Absolutely, that's a nice 1 extra goal lead going, 2 minutes into the 6th game here. Wow, that's weird saying now. Go, 2 minutes into the 6th game here, and that second goal really puts you ahead, gives you a little bit of like a leeway, in case they do score. Gives you that little lackluster of, all right, let's pick it back up. Let's get back to where we were kind of here. You know what I mean?
Right, absolutely.
It's good to see that, all members are back up to scoring again. We got 1 from Bacon, 1 from Oki. All we're really missing right now is 1 from, who do we got left? Who am I missing here?
Alfred?
Yeah, there it is. Sorry. I don't know how I
Oh
forgot,
my gosh.
Wow, that was a really close shot.
That's a crazy save. A crazy shot here from Zenko. Going to be batted back by Alfred. Alfred going to take some time on the ball here. Alfred looking to make a play. Oh, he was setting up for the double tap. Couldn't get there. But this one's going to be batted right back out to mid. Going to be cleared by Cool Kid. Cool Kid gets it over 1. Physics going to stop it around midfield. We've got 2 minutes left to go in this game. If the Ice and Boxers can't find 2, this game is over. It goes to the Yetis, and the Yetis are our first contender finalists, champions, not finalists. Are you kidding me? Of URL. Minute 45 now, and this ball is definitely not in a good spot, and that is definitely not good news if you're the Foxes.
Remember, I was saying earlier they were doing so well. The Foxes were doing so well in keeping that 3rd man back, making sure there was a defender. A misread there by SB from what it looked like, a misturn from the car. Just turned left instead of going straight for the block. For the save actually, but they left that net open for too long, and that's what cost them right there.
Absolutely, and we talked about this at the beginning of the game. Who was gonna come away with the game? Who was gonna be good? Now let's kind of revisit that here. Alfred was the player to watch on the Iceland Foxes. I think that held true, and I think he still is the player to watch in this next minute. If you want to see something happen, he's gonna be the guy to look at.
They've got to give him that chance to really, show that he's here for the win. You know what I mean?
Right.
He hasn't really been doing that. He's been more of a defender lately. and physics showing us that he's still here. He is still alive in this game, and he is not ready to take an L here at all.
Dude, Alfred made that pass happen. Give him the ball. He will make something happen. Every time he's on the ball, I feel like we're commenting on him. We've seen Physics and SB have their opportunity on the ball. And obviously the Yetis have spent a fair amount of time on it. But the rest of that time, that unanswered time from the Foxes, needs to come from Alfred. Alfred is on the ball right now. And currently there are 2 other players on the ball with him. And I hate to say it, but it really does make that much of a difference because he's the player to put on that ball, and he's not getting that time on the ball.
Not at all. And that seems to be costing a lot because every time he's there, he's got a play to make.
Absolutely. Oh boy, this is going to be a very awkward ball to save from the Yeti. For the Yetis, and the Yetis are able to get this out. There are 2 back though.
30 seconds left. Got 2 goals to make, or it's a Yeti's game here.
Oh boy, this is just crazy.
This is a nail biter right here.
I mean, it's tough pickings. They need to do something now, or they are going home. And it looks like right now they are headed home because it is hard to get 10 seconds, to make 2 goals. And it looks like they might just have the opportunity. And it's the Yetis taking home the crown of URL Contender Champions. And that is just it. It's the Yetis. Okeanos, Bacon Aimer, and Hyper Zenko. Wow. I've got nothing for you.
I got something. I got something.
Go ahead. Give me it.
I got one
man,
question for you,
dude.
Nolan.
Go ahead.
What game is this?
This is game 6.
Who predicted that? Me. That's right. Let's
Ah.
go. Let's go.
Oh my god.
Me, I
Wrong.
predicted it. Oh my goodness. Wow.
We gave him. See what you did. See what you did. You gave him. You gave him.
Listen, it's
Never
not my
tell Cool
fault.
Kid again. Never tell Cool Kid again.
Listen.
Respect the man.
If you go back to like the past like 5 or 6 streams you have, you can see the full crazy evolution of Crazy Monkey and Cool Kid's relationship. In the first stream, it's dude, get out of here, you're cringe, all this other stuff, and now it's don't be doubting my boy, holy moly. But no, for real, it's all love. We're all so glad that it happened that way. And I'll be honest with you, we legitimately have been waiting for this to happen. We as soon as we saw the Yetis make it out of the first round, we knew that their story didn't just end right there. We knew that they had something more. We knew that Cool Kid was a talent that we were gonna have to watch kind of unfold throughout this playoffs. And I'll be honest, Cool Kid is a finals player. He's got that clutch gene. Zenko and Okeanos too. That Yetis team was beautiful. They were great. And at the beginning of the season, it started off a little bit rough. You had other players. I think you had Henry in there. I know you had Benry in there. But Zenko is that staple from the beginning of the season. They come out victorious, and they've got all the work in the world to show for it. They did wonderful. But overall thoughts from the crowd, what do you guys got?
Honestly, I'm kind of shocked. And I'm in the Foxes. They brought it back. They put up a really great fight in those last 2 games, showing that they were still in it. They were still ready to go. They still wanted the fight. But unfortunately, it kind of came back to where they went back and something fell off. Not sure what it was. But either way, that was still a great match from both teams overall.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, that was one of the most unexpected series I think I've ever watched. I mean, just the Yetis going up by 3, Foxes almost looking like they're gonna bring it to a game 7, and then just falling short. I think that was game 6. I think it was 3-0. I mean, the switch up between games was unreal. Just throughout the series. I think in the end though, Yetis definitely played overall better, and that 3-game advantage definitely helped them a lot. MVP for me on the Yetis, I think had to be Cool Kid. He definitely showed up. I'm sure Crazy's happy about me hyping up his boy, but he deserves it, man. He played really well. I'm happy for the Yetis. Another great name was Zenko, and really just all the Yetis played great. Happy for my ex Cobra's boy. So
Absolutely. Crazy. Last thoughts. So then we're gonna get an interview going on here.
Ooh.
Anything?
Dude. I got nothing, dog.
All right, let's bring him in then.
he said it all. He said what he needed to say about Cool Kid.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it is kind of just that simple. I mean, we get the guys in here. We see, kind of what has happened. Am I bringing them to the right place? I'm definitely not. I'm definitely.
I mean, I hope
Oh,
so.
I definitely have. Let's go.
Welcome,
All right.
Hello.
Oh,
gentlemen.
welcome, gentlemen. Congratulations. You just won a URL final. Not even I've done that yet.
I know.
Thank you.
Wow,
Let's
that's
These
big.
go.
these guys pulled it off. I mean, game 4 and game 5, the icing technique did work a little bit, but I had them freaking close their eyes, take a deep breath, and count to 5 and say, "We got this." And guess what?
But,
Turned it
let's go.
around.
Wow.
You are season 1 champions. Yes.
That's right, man.
I love it. I love it, man.
I'm so happy.
We were literally fourth. We were fourth seed in playoffs, and we still managed to win. Like bottom seed. win.
Cinderella story, man.
Absolutely. All right, so let's break this down a little bit. So, interesting game. You guys go up 3 and then lose 2. What happened? I mean, other than that little disconnect, whatever. Whatever that
It was the
was.
disconnect,
Okay.
and then I got iced. I got nervous.
They were trying to make us cold.
that is the idea. All right, so a little icing right there. Let me go ahead and ask you guys another question. Coming into this game, what was your entire thought? You know, what are you guys thinking? Are you thinking, oh shoot, we're winning this? It's gonna be a game. You know,
Yeah.
take me through it.
So all I thought was we're the underdogs, and we don't have any pressure to win. Foxes have pressure, and we're just chilling. Honestly.
That's,
Honestly,
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a game 7. I thought it was going to be a really tight game. It was
that-
close at the end, so
was that at the beginning of the game, like before the game
That was
even
like-
happened?
yeah, like before the game even happened,
Okay.
I thought it was going to be a game
It's
7.
like if we
It's
get,
okay.
If we're the
It's
first
okay, no-
one, if the Fox, if any team scores on us first, like we get nervous.
So I get home, Nolan, and the first thing I can walk into is Okino's controller's not working.
Oh, Jesus.
I was like, this is not going to be a repeat of All Star.
Oh my
He,
goodness.
he actually missed kickoff for like 15 seconds.
I
in the
know.
league game.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
controller stopped working there.
That's a 2v3 for a bit.
Well,
Came back and gave him
it's
his
certainly
assist.
interesting. It would certainly fit the MO of the Yetis. Kind of how that went. Dish, I gotta ask you a personal question though. Way back
Okay.
at the beginning of the season, you know, you had drafted your team. You kind of had things going. You know, we had shared some words, and those words were, I'm not sure, you know, how my contender team's gonna be doing. Actually, I'm pretty sure what you had told me, in specific, was that the contender team was the one that you were worried about. That All Star would be
Yeah.
fine. That Ultimate was going to do good, and here we are, you know, talking about the championship
Yeah, I know.
game, and all of a sudden, you know, you got to win.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I mean, after it was towards the end of the season when I was kind of had. I mean, I'm glad Zenko stayed around.
Yeah,
Zenko
for
was
sure.
out there through the whole freaking thing. I mean, I was kind of worried just because Benner was not responding
Right.
the whole 9 yards. We didn't really have a captain.
I got in
Games
like,
get scheduled late. I was like, this is not gonna be good. Players are gonna start leaving. And
I
thank
joined,
God for
like,
Zenko
half-
staying and helping me out and helping me fix contender. Because now, like I said, now they got a freaking dub.
That dub on the Yetis resume, and that's a
Abs-
big one for
absolute-
you too.
Absolute, like from what it sounds like, an full on underdog story.
This
to
is
be
it.
It
quite
was
honest with you.
it was a full on Cinderella. It made bottom or the bottom team going into the playoffs.
It's a
Yeah, he
movie
came
story.
out and-
Submarine.
I mean,
It's a movie story.
clinched week 8 too. I mean, like, it wasn't like you guys were in the playoffs any other time than like the last. Like, no, that's what it was. We weren't. It wasn't even solidified. Like, I think it was the Gold Miners
The Yetis
losing
had-
that actually put you guys in the playoffs. So I mean,
No,
it
we-
comes from a million.
It was
Okay, go
because of
ahead.
the Tikis.
It was the
If
Tikis.
the-
Oh yeah, it was
yeah,
the
if
Tikis.
If the Tikis didn't
Shout
win
out
the
to
game
Tikis,
against
they're just too
Scorpions-
good.
If they didn't win
Yeah.
against Scorpions, we
We
wouldn't
had
make
Spirit
playoffs.
Undead helping cheering us on too, give us a good little pep talk before the game.
Oh,
We
We had
really?
to tell
did a
Cool-
motivational
We had to tell
speech.
Cool Kid to shut up during it because we got double tapped on, and that's all he could talk about for like
He did a
50
motiv-
seconds.
Undead did a motivational speech before the game started. I'm not even lying.
Well,
Went
he-
into our VC and we let him do a speech for 2.5 minutes.
well, dude, he's got some inspirational stuff.
Hey, we're appreciative of it. I don't
Absolutely.
know about Cool Kid, but we were.
What do you mean? All I
Cool
did was
Kid,
complain.
you were screaming about a double tap that happened in the game we were playing for like 50 seconds. We had to yell at you and tell you to shut up.
Alright.
All right. Well, I mean, we got one more face in here. I want to bring up Mr. Alfred. A wonderfully played game. How we doing, man? Unfortunate for the loss, but well played.
Yeah, true, man. It was a great series, but I guess our first 3 games, you could put it down to nerves, I guess.
Oh, really?
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Really
physics
took
was a little bit
this.
shaky, bro. You didn't really know what was going on. But it's just true that the other team was just better. Really, they just played a lot better series than we did, and they just put out a better performance. And in the end, they they became the champions, bro. So I mean, it is
GG's,
what it is.
Alfred. You played good.
GG's, man.
GG's all around,
GG's.
and you'll agree with me here when I say this, but there are very few people that have URL titles. URL title means a lot around here. And to be given Zenko, Cool Kid, Okeanos, and even
Oh,
Mr.
and this
Douche
is
one.
Zenko's stopping after the season. He's not even gonna be playing next season. It's a good time for him to
Absolutely.
get a dub.
Listen,
I'm
Zenko's
gonna
been here
join
for a
the-
while, so he definitely deserves one. But it's nice to crown you all. 100% Cool Kid, especially you coming into the season, making a real splash. So, actually, that's how we met. You were DMing us, telling us to pick you up, and now here you are. Should have picked you up.
Should have done it, man.
I should have
Should've
picked him
done-
up.
They got a championship.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna be
Well,
honest.
Everybody's in Cool Kid's backpack right now.
that's it. Wow.
The reason I didn't get picked up for most teams was because of my voice and because of my lag issues for one of them.
Well, that's all right. And you've won a final, so it bodes well for you next year. But well done, guys. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate the time. And like I said, congratulations. We'll have those rules for you soon. But
I'm gonna be in
that's big stuff.
URL for a while.
Yeah?
I'm gonna play next season and the season after that.
Good. Good. I'm glad we got a regular customer.
Let's get it, Cool Kid.
Never play again.
Thanks,
Hey,
Ian.
one more question.
Yeah.
Who won Crazy Cars of the game?
Oh yeah, Crazy never did that.
There wasn't a card game. My bad, G.
What?
Hey, they
wow.
don't let me.
I-
They didn't
I
let me.
dressed to- I dressed
We're
to
going on a
impress.
riot now, Crazy. We're now
I dressed
going
to
on a riot.
impress.
Crazy can go back to the VOD and figure it out. Official
Yeah,
official
I'll
ballot
give
will
it-
be out soon.
Let's go. That's all I want.
Wait, Nolan, I have a question.
Yes, what's up?
When is gonna be like the URL award show? When is that gonna be?
I don't know when it's going to be, but we'll certainly have one, along with a URL montage, a
I'm
season
not sure
montage.
Am I gonna be in it?
It's a great question. I don't know. Listen, I don't do the artistic value for that. That is done by the one and only Mr. Tito. Go ahead.
Oh,
and
and
get
by
those
the way,
details.
the most asked question: when is the clips out of week 7 coming out?
That's
Oh my
another great
God.
question. We're gonna ask Tito that later, but we are gonna go ahead and end it right there.
Right.
But thank you guys so much for coming in, talking a little bit about the game. Hope the season was fun, but
It was very fun.
Kind of contenders. You guys got it all locked up. Good stuff.
I
Do
Let's
it,
go.
Tim.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
It was not.
Right.
It wasn't
I'm
good.
back
It was
to the
really
Yetis
bad.
Discord.
All right,
Yeah, back to the
everybody
Yetis
back to the
Discord.
Yetis Discord.
Can you kick
Let's
me out of the
celebrate.
game?
Thank you.
GG's.
GG's.
See you,
Jeez,
Nolan.
man.
See you guys. Wonderful. Well, I mean, it doesn't get much simpler than that. Yetis take it in 6. That is the end of our contender season, though. It ends right there. It's crazy to think about. It feels like we literally just started doing, threes just the other day, and now we're already at the finals.
I was hearing a lot about the threes as it was carrying on. Like just as it was going, I was hearing a lot about it. I was actually very stoked for it to see how the outcome was. I'm very happy to see it. Personally, see how it went. Very, very well done. I'm very impressed overall. Honestly.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. So let's go over one last thing here. We've got All-Star and Ultimate tomorrow night. All-Star starting at 7 o'clock. Ultimate at 8:30. If you guys are interested in seeing any of those finals, you'll want to tune in. I mean, listen, it'll be great games. I'm excited to see, what happens. I think All-Star is going to be a real shootout. I think it'll be a great game. And then you can never go wrong with an Ultimate game. So I mean, get hyped up for those. Come through and watch how it happens, and that's just about it. Any last thoughts from you guys?
Not
Wow.
really. I mean, it's a great win by the Yetis. Congrats to the Yetis taking the dub, and also the Fox is playing a good game.
All I gotta say is stay crazy. One more time.
Stay crazy.
But, yeah.
Big fan,
gotta
big
say.
fan. Mr. G,
Mr. Nolan.
that's it.
Honestly, thanks for having me. I'm very pleased to be here. Very happy as overall outcome of the game. GG's to both teams. Well fought from both sides, and congrats to the Yetis.
Well, You heard it here first, folks. Yetis take it in Game 6. And we will see about the other two leagues tomorrow, All-Star and Ultimate. And until then, signing off. We'll see you guys later.